The Enlightenment Chasers. Royalties of Peace. We are stealing the storms back to peace that has no storm while holding on to perfect peace. It is April 1st of 2025. Episode 35 of the Golden Age is on Feelings versus Reality by Maris Free Lefang. Going through our highlights. 1. April Fool's Day celebration all over the world. 2. USA nation is in crisis. 3. Liberation Day, April 2nd. For the USA. And the Liberation Day, April 25th, 2025. National Day in Italy. And also a National Day in Egypt. 4. International relationship. On tourism and immigration. Favorism. 5. Freedom fighters. Going through the news today. Royalties of Peace. We must remember we are still in the storms. Looking on to perfect peace. We are the game changer. It takes us, the people. Who are the people? Humanity. The human race. All over the world, we are the people. Not just the United States of America. We cannot put everything on the shoulder of the people of the United States of America. It's the awareness unto us of the modern days, human world. Today, April 1st of 2025, happens to be on a Tuesday. Not an excuse me day to tell a lie, but rather an awareness to seek wellness. An awareness of our weaknesses to seek wellness. April Fool's Day celebration is the happiness that comes with knowing your problem, because you already have the solution before the problem. It's like looking for your car in the parking lot, knowing fully well you have the key, and once you find the car, you're so excited because all that matters is getting into the car. April Fool's Day started midnight and ended midday. A testimony, we are only sojourners. And to be aware it is impossible to enable an extended stay. Proof by the force and rise of conflicts we experience. Even human development informs us from infancy. We yearn for wisdom age to enter into integrity perfect. Therefore, April Fool's Day is not just a silly day on the calendar or a waste of time, but an emphasis of our forefathers endeavoring the need to reach perfect peace of none left behind. Enough of being foolish, trying to make a cycle of life when we need to enable the end of the state we are in of present. An end of the state of which we are in of present. It is a journey to completion and not a cycle. It is not a merry-go-round. It is a journey with a destination. April Fool's Day awaken us to the true mission of humanity. Yes, we must fulfill our purpose of reaching enlightenment perfect, of battlefield free mind by educating ourselves. For the change starts with the self in the mirror, coming to our senses. It starts with coming to our senses, looking into the mirror, the initial step of completing this journey, like foolishness, but a tool to enter enlightenment perfect. Number two, our physical and emotional health is struggling. And we can testify that by a miniature of the multicultural world, the United States of America is in crisis. The USA nation is in crisis, reflecting the world's crisis. The USA nation is like a mirror through which the world takes a look at itself. The crisis is like an alarm unto the human race to awaken from the fall, deteriorating from the expectation of our forefathers. Physical and emotionally, awareness of our weaknesses must be seeking wellness. The USA nation has a disruption of the Senate, and many levels of the government. And there is fear of recession. Recession risks erupt in town halls because of the fall of the GDP in two successive quarters, caused by the increase of tariffs under His Excellency President Trump's administration of the second term. Trade war escalating. According to CountOn2.com, Sir Goldman Sachs states that His Excellency President Donald Trump and his administration are certain that the White House is prepared to tolerate the near-term economic weaknesses in pursuit of their policies to strengthen the Constitution. The awareness the Constitution has been failing because of the people not keeping to the right definitions and meaning of the Constitution. We claim the Constitution is failing us, but rather we the people not keeping to the Constitution accordingly. Nationality is not to make a nation of the physical, but to rather enable the entry into eternity, the true nation, invisible, the destination of this journey of human development from infancy to wisdom age, the search for integrity of perfection, where despair is not known, is of no existence. Though the economic fundamentals are not strong, like the prior years, because of the trade war and Doge cuts. Sir Mark Zandi said the recession is less likely to happen because the labor market has not yet been touched by the administration, where layoff remains low and jobs and income growth are both positive. May give us some relief and some sense of direction that the present administration had a plan and not just executing all of these orders out of the blue or out of nowhere. This had been planned. But the people must come to understanding in order to be successful. It takes both sides and not just one side, which is why it is very important for every state representative to be effective in their town halls to negotiate with the people to understanding of what the USA is trying to achieve at this time of 250 years approaching, a time when USA should have already impacted the world of fullness of the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment is still in the process of growth. Instead of being able to reach out to the world, the knowledge, the Enlightenment was already perfected before the founding of the United States of America. What is still on the growth are the people understanding the Enlightenment. We, the people, are still struggling to understand the Enlightenment already established from the very beginning of even the world. Understanding that human race started in Africa, according to research. We might not know where the animals started, but we know at least that humans started in Africa, in the east of Africa, especially some say Kenya, which we all agree, even if it's not the first. We all understand that every generation is like a repetition of the previous. Yet, the growth is what attracts us, and not trying to maintain traditions of weaknesses. The growth comes with every disappearing of a weakness being solved to the point where we are today. Not only trying to construct roads, infrastructure has become greater, even looking up onto artificial intelligence. Very sophisticated world we live in today than our fathers did. Must be of expected and not of desolation. What is this war among us? Is it a matter of understanding the Enlightenment? Or is it a matter of warring each other? What are we aiming at? Is it to divide or is it to come together like one? According to the economy and the market, His Excellency President Donald Trump hopes his tariffs bring jobs to the United States of America. But the economists of the United States of America are skeptical, claiming that it could instead be otherwise, claiming it could instead cause a fall because the consumers are becoming scared and falling back on consumption, seeing higher prices, and low purchases. The consumers are having low confidence, and this has been decreasing since January 2021. After His Excellency's first term. Is it really because of His Excellency President Donald Trump that we are experiencing this fall in the economy of the United States of America? No. There is an awareness of our weakness. Running a car without gas, running a car without fuel can end us in a very dangerous place. It is better to be late than not to show up. All presidents are being rescued by His Excellency President Donald Trump. The fear of the people can never solve the problem. The truth may be bitter, but it must be spoken. We have not been following the constitutions of expected. USA was not planned to be kept, but to fulfill the purpose of redirecting the world to the right turn. More of like a traffic light to redirect everyone to the right way. With all these tariffs of increase upon all other nations, coming to the awareness of how much tariffs are being placed on USA products in other nations, has become now a war of tariffs. China also increasing tariffs on American products. And other nations are also looking forward to increase taxes on US products. Like a reciprocity of tariffs increasing does not solve the problem. Are we failing to understand where the world is going to? It has become a world's problem. What we see in the USA is what the world is going through, of abusing each other instead of fulfilling the purpose of our being, reaching enlightenment perfect. This started in Africa. Like it is said, civilization started in Africa. It's only a highlight that our very first parents of this world realized the instability of this world and desired a strategy to return to perfect peace. Like in physics, it is stated that the most freest state of an existence is the gaseous state, and the most condensed and complicated state is the solid state, where you have more friction of particles than in the gaseous state, where the particles are further from apart. And that is even limited when we seek for even where you find no particles, but perfection. And the perfection not a void, but a solution. When the void was a problem in the beginning, our returning to that same spot of the void is the solution. Perfect peace replaces emptiness. Liberation Day is on April 2nd. On tariffs, according to the USA, tomorrow will be a Liberation Day on tariffs, where we will understand what His Excellency President Donald Trump has concerning the tariffs on the USA for improvement of the economy. While this April, Italy also will be celebrating Liberation Day, April 25th, a national day in Italy of the war that ended between Italy and the Nazi Italy and Nazi Germany. The end of dictator Prime Minister Benito Mussolini's, who was against his own people, claiming he was maltreating them and disrespecting them, depriving them from freedom, of which today, if we understand, it is all about failing to follow the expected enlightenment of our forefathers. For some reason, when these ones who want to perfect the forefathers' enlightenment, they always fall on the bad side. Unfortunately for them, they always fall on the bad side. The people misleading themselves with trying to multiply and increase and make a nation. But that is not the case of our forefathers. It's not about trying to keep the earth. It's the cry of all of these we call dictators and terrible leaders. Must we, after going to school, come to our senses to help each other recover from wherever knowledge deficit has been a barrier to reaching integrity perfect, of none left behind? People like President Putin, His Excellency President Paul Biya of Cameroon, His Excellency President Putin in Russia, many others have been counted terrible rulers, but of which they are trying to pave the path of ascending, no more descending. It is hard for some of us to understand it because we have always kept the tradition of multiplying and keeping a heritage in the world before we part, which is against our expectation of reaching perfect peace. What is the point to bite the finger that feeds us? It is time for us to recover from our ignorance and be in line with their ancestors and not an obstacle in their way of reaching perfection. Italy celebrating this day also is honoring our coming to our senses. These of us who have tried to implement the expectation of our forefathers of enlightenment chasing might have been of cruelty, but more than cruelty of the physical was being experienced at this time. For spirituality exists of them being haunted by the enlightenment of the forefathers. You have no idea what it feels like being one who disobeys the parent when you know you're supposed to be the night watch or the watchman of the tower. When they put you a president, you are like the watchman of the tower. It's so much burden on this of us who have come to enlightenment, reciprocal with that of the forefathers. How we bruise each other is just like how we bring in others into the world in the form of babies, ignorant and helpless. We need not guns to tell us that. Neither war on tariffs. Shooting guns at each other could be very direct ways of testifying. We are dying. Tariffs is the very slow way of testifying that we are dying. True, tariffs also kill us because with high tariffs, we go low on products. And that kills families complicatedly. Rather for us to instead reduce the birth rate by enabling celibacy and living luxuriously, the enlightenment of the United States of America of expected origin, designed by those in the North and those in the South in the place of recovery, also had it of the mind, Stopping slavery was not easy. Even to today, there is still fear of how each other can harm after so much misunderstanding and pressure on each other. Yet it takes our enlightenment of the mind to reach understanding. After having therapy with going to school, rehabilitation has our going to school been to us, and having sport activities and other training to bring us to understanding of who we are, humanity, of enlightenment, perfecting. The tariff effects are becoming alarming. Instead of fulfilling its purpose of increase of tariffs on beefs and cheese is to prove that we can't be eating animals, for that is barbaric. Like an alarm at these tariffs onto our products. Now, if there are tariffs on US agricultural products, is it how we produce the products? USA keeps no longer slaves, so there is no point of having high tariffs on agriculture from USA. Is it using animals, which by now we use more technology in producing producing agricultural products? Is it that USA is still of white racial superior? Is it a means to enable the white race to become of equality with the other race? What is really the point of having high tariffs on agriculture? We need to come to an understanding because some people suffer, but it doesn't stop the making of the point that should solve the problem. Children suffer will not stop problem being solved. We must solve our problems. Therefore, we the people should be able to step up the earliest possible, the better, for the sake of the children and answer to the higher education or how much we have learned. We should be able to apply these strategies without even the president. We are supposed to be having a laissez-faire government than trying to make one a manager. When one is standing like a dictator, therefore we the people are not doing our work. We must sort out where we are falling short. We can't use children to disrupt the enlightenment. We must face our fear and face our deficits and recover because the future lies in the hands of the children. If we put the children in front now to be the reason why we need to continue enabling complications, the children are the ones to suffer tomorrow. It cannot be the children being abused, but we, the people, not getting to the point. It's time for us to solve our problems and leave the children out of it. Protecting the children and making sure we solve the problems. We must beg each other. We must be submissive to each other. We must respect each other. And it takes collaboration. We have learned in school how to communicate. Therapeutic communication has been the most vital course, according to my studies. Surely in others too. His Excellency President Trump slowing down on Canada and Mexico with the tariffs could be understanding, but all these tariffs is to make us to understand we are supposed to be one. Every continent is trying to unite to one. They are forming unions that are uniting them. The European Union, the African Union. America must have a union, and they are becoming a one continent, a one nation. Our purpose is to all become one of every continent where we are. We must be able to resolve all our differences and become one and hold on to the perfect of our basic roots, which is perfect peace. And that is what we are of all over the world. We are trying to make humanity one. We must really be able to understand our purpose. It's not about making nations and dividing, but rather becoming one. The call onto Ukraine to come to their senses with Russia. International relations has really been a disruption, such that Namibia is trying to restrict USA on how they enter into into their country, enabling restrictions on visas, on tourism, needing to buy a visa, even the same with Burkina Faso. And other African nations will surely be doing the same, trying to restrict USA, England. Like every nation is now developing to the point where they could instead fall apart even more if they do not understand the purpose of our forefathers. that is really alarming on the table. The growth is not to divide and claim independence alone, but to unite. Let the visas be to enable restrictions of illegal activities, to prevent illegal activities, and to have economy that can cover up on any damages or illegal activities. Not that we're trying to restrict each other because others are restricting each other. We are not kids. The way we talk on the news should really make the children understand healthily what is going on. How I'm understanding the news can be very disrupting when we're looking for peace. We are on a journey to perfect peace. We are not here to make war. We're not trying to enable a third world war. We are trying to enable perfect peace. International relations should be respected, knowing that every restrictions or visas or payments or bills enabled is for the infrastructure and the growth and convenience of everyone visiting or staying. Chad is said to be the first country to face travel restrictions from USA. And then there is this news report on Africa Today on USA discriminating on immigration, enabling only white South Africans to migrate to USA with asylum plans established to favor them of refugees status, restricting other African countries. But if we understand what is really going on, the whites in South Africa and the whites in the United States of America are two powerful branches that started the New World Order of Enlightenment to what it is today. That secondary that started the mansion building of the foundation that was placed by the natives and the first forefathers of every continent. There was this foundation that was enabled of every continent, and the natives of America were also one of that primary foundation before the two branches that came from Europe that headed to America and the other to Africa. Some settled in South Africa, and those that settled in the United States of America are now of expected of stage of reaching the enlightenment perfect, the reuniting of these. Not all of them will come, but there is the reunion that have to establish. There is a strength that is going on. We need to understand the weaving of the threads on this quilt. It's amazing how it is being mapped, and the transformation is amazing. If we really understand through the eyes of perfect peace what we are doing, we'll be so glad and be able to even move faster. Let me not say faster, but smarter. We'll move even smarter than what we are experiencing right now. Not trying to be fast, but smarter. A beautiful, fast way of moving is being smart. We are a human race. What is really disrupting us is this black and white of the physical body. The woven in of the black and white thread is amazing how it's coming out. If we understand what is playing, accordingly of the enlightenment of our forefathers that started in Africa, color is just only identifying a pattern. for those who may forget to have at least an assistive device. But you don't just follow skin tone. You must follow skin tone aligning with the mind. Because even some of the skin tone also sometimes fall and need to recover. And they don't need anyone to copy their faults when they're trying to recover. A soldier in the hospital is not the one to follow, but the soldier on the watchtower without a gun. The one with the gun is the one in the hospital. The one without a gun is the one on the watchtower. We have to be very smart how we follow each other. Because you'll be surprised of some blacks that are even more corrupt than some whites with guns. What is a gun? We may say where there's a gun, there is a possibility of someone to shoot somebody. And wherever there is a man and a woman, there's a possibility of having children. So both are against each other, are doing the same complication. In Africa, multiplying is so easy to shoot the forefathers in their enlightenment space, bring them down into flesh. When they're supposed to be leading us, we pull them down unexpectedly in the name of making babies. When we are on a journey to perfect peace, we are on a journey to part from this physical state to enlightenment perfect. It's time for us to really come to our senses what we are really experiencing being human race. Educated human race. The modern human race today is not just the human race of traveling the world, but of completing the world. Enlightenment perfect we are. After all the schools and education, traveling and interweaving each other with education and learning each other so well that we're now in a place where we have to be of perfection. I see white people in African outfits. I see black people in white outfits, testifying that we are now so well woven together. If you have a weakness, you can learn from anyone that is of expected of the mind, transitioning to perfection, and not just following race, black or white. Be with the one that is convenient, but make sure you're following it, following them of expected of the mind matching with the body. We have the white mind, is what we are looking for, the white mind. There are some white race with the black mind, and there are some black race with the white mind. There are white race with white mind, and there are black race with black mind. You have to know the right race with the white mind. Be smart. I plead. It's time for us to really reach the enlightenment perfect, for we are the enlightenment chasers. Thank you for listening. Peace stills the storm, back to peace that has no storm, holding on to perfect peace.